Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your winter solstice reading. The winter solstice is on the 22nd of December, and the longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere is symbolic of the return of the light. This is the inner light, the inner fire, your inner truth. In the southern hemisphere, where there are winter solstices, there's summer solstice. This is the oppositional energy where the sun is at its zenith. And this is about a reclamation of your place in the world, staking a claim on where you belong in the world. So for those of you in the south, this is also a celebration, but of a different sort. In the northern hemisphere, this is the entree into our period of hibernation, retreat, inner contemplation, and silence. So I have combined the African and the Tarot of the Divine together in one deck. I will clarify with the Tarot, the Crow Tarot, and I'll finish off with a few Oracle decks. Primarily, I want to thank all of you for spending your time here. It is much appreciated. And for you, Capricorn, I pull the Knight of Swords as your overall energy. And this is an interesting energy that definitely accompanies, exhibits qualities that come naturally to you in general. You are logical, you are rational, you are methodical. However, there is a bit of impulsiveness here that you may be giving rein to, forgive the pun. You may be receiving a lot of ideas, information, inspirations, intuitive hits that are urging you to try things on a spontaneous basis. And there is a sense of spontaneity about this passage into the formality of the wintertime. This is your season. The winter solstice marks the beginning of the sun's entrance into Capricorn. So there is a hint of divine intervention here and revelation that you're excited by, that you're spurred and inspired by. In the present, the Two of Swords; in the past, the Three of Coins; and in the future, the Three of Swords. So we've got our threes here balancing out what is very difficult information to access, answers to questions that you have, decisions you feel prompted to make by looking at things that are very difficult to look about within your own behavior. These are attitudes and ideas that are close to you that may feel difficult, painful even, to be honest about. The brutal honesty that is necessary may be prompting you to once again look at patterns of behavior, patterns of activity, and assumptions you have about the way that you are beginning love and the pursuit of abundance. So here the message is feeling as though you are preventing yourself from moving forward in your heart's desire or your a pursuit of a relationship that feels destined for you through your attachment to old patterns and old beliefs. This is not holding you back from beginning anew, but it is keeping you chained, keeping you from springing forward towards those an acceptance of the lessons you've learned through difficulties, through heartbreaks, through disappointments in your relationships. These relationships are not confined to romantic or spousal relationships. These are perhaps all of your relationships that have exhibited a kind of disappointment and heartache that you are that is difficult to break apart from. And my sense is that the difficulty is because there's a lack of absolute transparency with yourself about why you still believe that some patterns or relationships from the past that you have difficulty releasing them. Some of this is a sense that you know something is returning to you, and you're hoping that it returns to you on the new terms that you are now accepting as appropriate for where you are. You're about building something that reflects who you are, reflects the abundance and the opportunities that are around you. And you are perhaps somewhat distrustful of yourself in encountering former relationships or the bid of former lovers or friends to start something up afresh. You're not feeling that you're feeling too vulnerable. And in that way, you are throwing yourself into your work. But the same thing that holds you back from building this new enterprise, this new bid or opportunity for wealth or prosperity is the same thing that holds you back from freely releasing a pattern from the past. It's difficult for you to separate the people from the pattern. And what may be difficult for you to acknowledge is that others can have grown too. They may or may not have grown in a way that is sufficient to begin a relationship on terms that you are willing to go forward with, but that doesn't mean they haven't grown. It doesn't mean that there's an opportunity for real meaningful closure for you in a way that can contribute to your growth, contribute to your abundance in this present moment. In the past, the 3 of coins is clarified by the 6 of coins and the 7 of coins. Interesting. So yes, there is a real focus in your past on equalizing your relationships, leveling out the terms on which you give and receive love and resources, receiving what you believe is fair and equitable in relationships. It's almost like the acid test for you. And this is in part, I'm guessing, because you're acknowledging that in the past, relationships weren't equal. In fact, my sense is that you were the giver, you were the doer, you were the provider in your relationships, whether they be friendships, romantic, professional, that you made sure that you did everything you could do to make sure the other person was okay. And you, in understanding that about yourself, and that is painful, that is difficult, because what underlies such action is a lack of belief in your own lovability, that you're not deserving or worthy of love, that you can't be loved. And having really looked honestly at that has brought up feelings of that lack of worthiness, that lack of being loved, having been loved authentically or unconditionally in the past, that perhaps that's something you haven't experienced in a healthy way, and that has been painful for you. But it has also contributed to this really honest assessment of not only your past, which has been difficult, because you've had to acknowledge how little you've invested in yourself because you were investing in your relationships and others and your opportunities in a way that deprived you of getting the reward that you were due. And this is part of revelations that you have understood and that you are facing, but that they still hurt. They still undermine your sense of confidence. This is a pain that is in many ways building towards a successful expression of your desire, your goals, your passions. In the present, the Two of Swords is clarified by the Tower and the King of Swords. I am not surprised by this Tower. And I'm not sure, there's something unpredictable, unexpected. Something has not worked out the way that you thought it would. And you have continued to invest in something believing that it will work out. But there's a sneaking suspicion that the structures that supported the success that you were hoping for no longer exist, or you're not willing to invest in the structures for your success. This is actually coming as an opportunity for you to correct your course, to make a better choice. This is commonly referred to as a blessing in disguise. And under supporting this blessing, the revelation or the information that you are intuitively receiving, is this desire and this exploration of your truth. In many ways, it is this impulsive, spontaneous action or thought expression that helps you that exposes this whatever it is that you've been clinging to, this belief, this idea that being a victim was an okay choice for you to make because you were the stronger one. You understood that this was love or effort industry that you could make, and therefore you unconsciously gave your partners a pass, never demanding what you were rightfully owed, and never articulating what your desire was, just always making it easy for others to do what they were doing without acknowledgement or accommodating your desires or your goals. In the future, the Three of Swords is clarified by the High Priestess and the Knight of Cups. Yes, yes. This is really a hard one. I'm feeling a lot of emotional dragging with this one because I believe the relationships and the goals that you are pursuing, you have been pursuing for a very long time, and you have not been successful. You have been daunted in many ways, not just externally through blocking of your efforts, but by an inner sense of trepidation, of caution, of self-doubt, of not knowing which way to go, of conflict. And in fact, you are morphing. Whatever this opportunity, this blessing is that comes in and allows you to see things more clearly, is really coming from a very old place. This is a place, I believe, in which you have always known your exquisite, particular, unique power. You've always been aware of your not only ability to know yourself, but to your wisdom. This font of your wisdom comes from vast experience. If it's not only experience in this life, it's from the lives of others. It can be ancestors, it can be cultural legacy or heritage, but you have a tremendous font of experience that has wizened you and in many ways has often encouraged you or has, I don't know what the word is, has allowed you to believe that by being graceful towards those who haven't supported you, it is because you have known power and wisdom. This is a kind of masking of your purpose. And this is similar in message to the Sagittarius reading, that you have believed yourself to be the strong one, the knowing one, so you have granted favor and grace to those who were unkind to you, that blocked you, that sabotaged you, because you felt in your heart that you knew better. And be that as it may, this has created a pattern in which you haven't spoken up for what you needed. You haven't articulated your desires. In fact, there's a strong sense here that you haven't even known what your desires are. Not at a conscious level. You've known in a deep way, but you have not had the courage to step out and claim what is your power and what you're able to do. This particular challenge that you're facing, and it feels very much like the return of a great love, a great passion, or a potential great passion in your life, is really being opened up again by this ability to, by painfully looking at patterns and beliefs about your unlovability, you've actually opened up your heart to your talents, your joy, your love, your, in fact, tremendous capacity to not only know love, to give love, but to understand, to see the workings of love and expression relationships at another level. Opening up to the pain that you've endured. In many ways, you've chosen this pain. You kept yourself small to not jeopardize others. And you're now understanding the fallacy of that and the way in which this has opened up love. Love is love, even when it has moved you to see the way that you haven't loved yourself. You still are capable of tremendous capacity of resources, imagination, creativity, visions, intuition that are opening up for you. And they, in fact, are what's powering. The sadness is what's powering this new thing you're building, this new creative opportunity for greater abundance. Great gratitude for all that you have in your life is actually coming in a circular way to you through your acknowledgement of heartache and disappointment. All the while understanding that this was a lesson that was destined for you. This was a love, a passion you couldn't release because there was so much that you had to learn from it. It's bittersweet. I'm going to pull a starry beginning for you and ask you, if you're resonating with this reading, to like, share this video with others, to comment, and to subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pull, stay strong, be a guiding light. Ground yourself, be love. I'm actually feeling a lot of emotion. If I haven't expressed that already from this reading, of course I'm a Capricorn, and I'm also pulling the flora and fauna of Africa. This is about acknowledging the support and preparation that our ancestors offer us. And I pulled the leaf cutter ant. Boy, does that not feel like a Capricorn alliance. And the plant that's acknowledged with it is called the pink knotweed. And the key word is confidence. Your persistence and patience will be rewarded. There's no need to rush. Work with like-minded people to achieve your goals more efficiently. Well, this feels absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to clarify with the Crow Tarot. In the past, the Six of Coins is clarified by the Tower, surprise, surprise, and the Seven of Coins is clarified by the Knight of Wands. Okay, so this tower has been looming over you for a while. Although you're feeling some newer insights in the present moment, you have been a recipient of this level of heightened intuition for a while. You have been observing the structures in your life crumbling. You have been aware that they are doing so in service to your larger mission. You're aware that the goals that you have perceived and understood to be a part of your mission are not served by perhaps the family relations that you've had, the friends, the organizations you've worked at, the power structures that exist in your community at whatever level have not been working for you. And it feels as though you have left many of the conventional trappings of a life. You may have left a conventional way of working or a conventional family relationship. And this is part of this release into a greater exploration of your desires. In fact, it feels to me as though you couldn't explore your desires and establish goals until you left the more conventional expression of work, life, and relationships. So it feels like leaving a conventional job, leaving a conventional source of idea of family has actually really empowered you to find the things that are aligned more deeply to you. In the present, the Tower is clarified by the Temperance card and the King of Swords by the Three of Pentacles. Great, another repeat. I love seeing that because this is you building something new, something that expresses a high degree of quality, service, and value for others, but it's with a team of collaborators. This is building your relationships where we started in this reading to a place of not only equity, but high functionality. You're joined together for a shared purpose in a way that respects the strength of each, that does not elevate one voice over another, but understands that solutions, products, services, things you create are a function of the synergy of your unique talents. This leaving behind the conventional, conforming lifestyle that perhaps you have left behind is a part of your healing, has been instrumental in your healing. You could not have found your path to wholeness, your authentic desires, without this necessity to break from the herd, to move away from something that seemed to be productive, but did not feel productive or supportive of who you were. And leaving that behind has really triggered your ability to balance out the talents and the challenges, the resources and the opportunities in your life so that you are feeling more whole, more healed, and that healing is within your control, within your hands. This is what's making this ability to be honest with yourself, transparent to yourself possible. This is what's giving you the courage, the healing, the confidence to address a very difficult inner look, deep dive within decisions you have to make about the direction you're going to move. And in many ways, it feels like a pull away from the past towards the possibilities, the potential of your life, of your abilities. In the future, the High Priestess is clarified by the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Five of Pentacles. You are taking on some really big external challenges. You are overturning an experience of lack, a lack of excitement, a mediocrity of your life that you have allowed yourself to be satisfied with as a way of surviving, a way of coping with the failures that you've experienced in the past, the giving away of your powers, the grace that you've shown to others who have hurt you, who have not worked in your interests, that have damaged you. You have become, you don't want to accept that kind of accommodation and avoidance of your own power and ambition. And so things that you thought you always wanted, maybe in leaving behind a conventional lifestyle to something that is more self-directed, that builds upon things that feel better to you, is not netting you or is not giving you what you thought it would, or is not providing the opportunities you thought it would, but you're ignoring what you have achieved. You're, again, in some ways, and I'm saying this with all loving respect, you are ignoring your accomplishments, looking at the imperfections, the flaws, the things that are missing, the things that are absent, rather than the things that are developing, that are growing, that are expanding. And your ability to choose on the basis of what is benefiting you, what is giving you pleasure, where your joys are, or something that has expanded and been achieved in your life. What you do with it is still remains to be seen. However, you are changing the terms of experience that have been limiting you. You're rejecting the labeling that you have received. And this is, it feels like a lifetime labeling of the one who won't, being the one who's always accommodating, always gracious, always deferring to the more aggressive, combative partner or member of a team, the one who bows out gracefully, not fighting for what you want, not being honest about wanting something that maybe you haven't achieved or are not being granted. This, again, is feeling very similar to Sagittarius's reading. But at this point, you are realizing that this change can be made by you. You can reject the labeling that you've always received. And this labeling hasn't always been favorable. It has been sometimes downright cruel. But you've always given others the benefit of the doubt. And instead now you're realizing that by accepting that good-heartedly, that you really have bought into this sense of limited capacity, that you're not really deserving of all the good things that you've helped other people achieve. So despite the tone of this reading, I actually see incredible power in your now imaginative life that you have built and created for yourself, a safe space, a protected space to experience your emotions, to look deeply at yourself, to be honest about what you have created in your life, and to take on the challenge of building something new on new terms that reflect your honest desires and reflect your values. I'm going to finish this off with a language of flowers, and I have pulled, I think this is called the Lenten Rose, and the key word is protection. conserve what you have and save a little. I like that. Thank you so much, Capricorn, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.